Hi there, this is Chris Fuchs, and this is my identity presentation. Um, so starting off, if you look at me to the outside observer, my cultural identity may seem pretty cut and dried. You may look at me and see a stereotypical white male. Some might see a person of privilege, and you wouldn't be wrong, but you wouldn't be completely right either. Um, I was born and raised in St. Cloud, Minnesota, in 1988. I mean, I grew up as a '90s kid, but also during the 2000s. During the internet boom. So demographically, that would make me a millennial, a label that carries with it some prejudices like lazy, entitled, self-absorbed, but also good labels like millennials are open to change. They have a high importance of social justice, and they're environmentally conscious. But because I was raised in St. Cloud, Minnesota, I didn't think about my own culture, or really my whiteness, because I was surrounded by a lot of people that looked just like me. I was firmly entrenched in stage one of the majority identity development theory, found in chapter 4. I was unaware of my own. I was unaware of my own, of any culture, really. I thought mine was the right one. One day in my teens, after I had gotten into an argument with my dad, I called him a Nazi for some reason. And that ended up being a big mistake, but also sort of a good thing, as you'll see. My dad hit the roof, and he brought me into his room, and he brought out a photo album that I had never seen before. And it was my grandma, his mother's photo album. In it, he showed me a bunch of aunts I've never met, uncles I've never met, cousins I've never met, a lot of blood relatives that I had no clue even existed, all in black and white and gray and grainy. And then he pointed out my grandmother's parents, who I never really heard about or thought about. And he explained to me that my grandma was born and raised in Yugoslavia, which isn't a country anymore. She was a part of an ethnic group called the Roma, otherwise known as Gypsies. And my dad went on to explain why I hadn't met much of my family on his side, and that's because during World War II, or before World War II, the Nazis, headed up by Adolf Hitler, committed genocide against Jews, homosexuals, and then also Roma, the Gypsies. They thought that they were less than than the Aryan ideal, and this factors in because this is I realized this after reading this chapter, that this is a diasporic history. My grandma always, like, she loved baseball, like, she was American. That's all she said. If you would ask where she came from, she said, "I'm from America." And she fled Yugoslavia with her only remaining relatives, which were 3 younger siblings. This actually really opened my eyes to my own multiculturalism. And I sort of realized, okay, so I'm not just this white dude from sleepy small town St. Cloud. And then as I entered college, especially at Minneapolis Community and Technical College, I was made more aware of all the different cultures, like, in this state, less than an hour from white bread St. Cloud. And as I was enrolled in more classes with people of color, of people of different cultures, at first I was anxious because I didn't have a lot of experiences with these cultures, and I really didn't really didn't want to, be culturally insensitive. But it sort of triggered me, and I, and it helped me transform into the next stage of the majority identity development theory. Recognition of, my white privilege, and as I think I'm personally in stage 4 right now.